Yes, believe it or not, leftover brisket is a thing. It does occasionally happen. It doesn't always get devoured. And in this package right here, I have some vacuum sealed brisket point that I froze that was left over when I made a nice large brisket. And we're gonna be turning this into brisket biscuits today, along with some brisket gravy to go on top. But I do have to get this opened up, get this brisket point chopped into small pieces so it can go into both of the components. In total, I'm gonna need about 2 cups of chopped brisket, to be exact, 2 1/4 cups. So I wanna take this and really kind of break it down into smallish pieces. Get a really nice chop on it. Call it a dice if you want. Really about that size. So if you cut it into these little planks first like this, and then just go across. All right, I'm gonna get the rest of this chopped up and then we're gonna get our biscuit dough made. So this biscuit dough that the brisket's gonna go into, along with some cheese, is a buttermilk biscuit dough. We're starting with 2 cups of all-purpose flour. To this I'm adding 1 tablespoon of baking powder, 1 tablespoon of sugar, a 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt, a 1/4 teaspoon of a coarsely ground black pepper, and a 1/4 teaspoon of chili powder. These are our dry ingredients here. So we're gonna go ahead, whisk this up, allow these to mix together nicely before we add our buttermilk. Up next, a cup of buttermilk, and this can be adjusted based upon how wet or dry the dough is. Environmental conditions can affect that, humidity, dryness. So I'm gonna start with a cup and we can add more if we need to. I'm just gonna mix this together with a spatula. Should form a very shaggy sort of dough. You just want to make sure we get all that moisture incorporated. You can see how it's coming together pretty quickly into nice lumps. Make sure you scrape the bottom, the sides. It's feeling pretty good, but I do think it needs just a little more buttermilk. I think just about a tablespoon or so. Mix that in. Now it's time for some cheese. This is 3/4 of a cup of some Gruyere cheese, a smoked Gruyere, and I shredded it. And yeah, we're just gonna mix this in. Takes a little while here. You can actually get in here and use your hands if you want to. There's gonna be some loose bits of cheese, don't worry about that. They'll stick on here and they'll get nice and melty in the oven. Now this is a good time to preheat your oven. You're gonna want it at 450 degrees. You can see how that dough is really coming together right there. Now for our brisket. This is 3/4 of a cup of that chopped point. Again, mix everybody in here. And I think at this point I actually am gonna get in here with my hands. Just to make sure all those brisket pieces get mixed in so that every biscuit's gonna have a bite. We're not trying to work this too much. We just wanna get everything incorporated and have that dough be nice, kind of shaggy moist, not dry. All right, that's looking good. Let's go ahead and form our biscuits. So I have a baking sheet here with some parchment paper on it, and I'm just gonna be using a 1/2 cup scoop today to give us the size biscuit we want. And then once you get these on, you can see they're kind of domes, just take your hand, press them down into that biscuit shape. Usually on this sort of recipe, I get 5 or 6. I think I went a little big this time. Again, press it down to biscuit size. And just check your shape. I mean, these are rustic biscuits. These aren't meant to be all perfectly round. The main purpose here for them is they're gonna be tasty. All right, our oven is preheated to 450 degrees. We're gonna get these biscuits in there. They're gonna go for anywhere, my oven is about 12 to 15 minutes. Every oven is different. So you wanna check them. You want them to be that nice golden brown. If you want, you can use a thermometer and check the internal temperature. It should be somewhere around 200 degrees, but really a good golden brown biscuit is what you want. And you'll learn with your oven how long it takes. Like I said, my oven is usually 12 to 15 minutes depending on how big the biscuits are. And while these are in the oven, we're gonna go ahead and get our gravy ready over at the stove. It's only gonna take a few minutes, and then we'll have that to serve them with. They're gonna be terrific. Let's get these in the oven. So I have my burner on medium here, and I'm just gonna get my brisket in here. This is 1.5 cups of brisket pieces. There is some fat in here, which is good, but we wanna add a little bit of butter. This is a tablespoon of butter. I'm gonna let that melt, let this brisket start to warm up, and then we will add some flour, some half and half, some salt and pepper, and let our gravy thicken. This is basically just like a sausage gravy, except we're substituting brisket for the sausage. And the sausage usually has a little bit more fat that renders out quickly, so that's why we're adding some butter to get a little more fat in here. And you want your flame, again, not too high, medium, medium-low. I'm gonna add 1/4 cup of flour here. This is gonna be our thickener with that half and half. Get this mixed in here. Now for our half and half, we're gonna add 2 cups. You could use milk in this. Milk is fine, that's pretty traditional. I just like half and half. And we're gonna let this come to a simmer and let it thicken here. We're gonna let this simmer, we're gonna stir it, and after it's thickened, it'll be ready for our biscuits when they come out of the oven. So here are our biscuits. They took 16 minutes, so more than usual, but that's the thing about ovens and conditions. You just gotta have to roll with it sometimes. You have to watch them and see when they get to the point you want, and we're just getting that nice golden brown there. I don't wanna overcook them. If I temp these, I'm guessing they'd probably be right around 200 degrees, but they're looking really good. I'm gonna let these cool for maybe 3 or 4 minutes, then we're gonna get some on a plate, and we're gonna have a taste with that brisket gravy. So let's get one biscuit on here and some of our nice, thick brisket gravy. Look at that. If you like your gravy, you know, thinner, runnier, go ahead. You can just use milk, not thicken it as long. And I didn't show it on camera, but I did add salt and pepper to this. That just looks terrific. Just super happy with this. Let's dive in and have a taste here. Okay, I'm a little surprised. There is actually quite a bit of brisket flavor in this. I know you're gonna get some when you bite into it, but it's almost like those fats have permeated as you mix them in and as they cooked in the oven. Just terrific. Oh, I'm just gonna use my hands here and just get some of this on here. This is just too good. That smoked Gruyere cheese with the smoked brisket in here. It's a double punch of smoked, and with a biscuit, that's something really nice. And the gravy too. To me, this is like a perfect breakfast or brunch food or any time of the day.